Today I messed up by thinking I set up auto payments on my mortgage. I recently moved for work and as such purchased a home. I have always had auto payments set up on my mortgage. That's not to say I've owned many houses, but I have had mortgages get sold to other companies and need to set up all my payments again. The latest one was no different. Usually, I make a payment to cover the current amount, and then set up Autopay to keep going until I receive notice that I have to change the information. The issue started when I went to do this on the new company's website. It will quite literally not let you set up Autopay until that payment has processed. I tried for half an hour or so, until I gave up and decided to set it up later. However, since I messed with it for so long, I somehow thought I succeeded in setting it up. A few weeks pass, and my wife and I are complaining about the cell service in the area. My co-workers are telling me that we should switch carriers, and in time we decide to do just that. She was quite excited to get a new phone and I was looking forward to the better service. Not that the last one was bad. It just wasn't good for the area. One thing I did not realize in this process is that voicemail needs to be set up again when changing carriers. I should mention that I do not like answering the phone when I don't recognize numbers. It is either a recruiter, a salesman, or just plain spam. I cannot stand having those conversations, so I just let the call go to voicemail and call them back if it doesn't fall into one of those categories. Now this all happened while I'm approaching a very busy time at work. I mean 60+ hour weeks and weekends were questionable. So the only thing on my mind as far as bills were concerned is having enough money in the account that Autopay pulls from. So long as that account had a sufficient number in it, I didn't think about bills. A few months go by and I get a notification that someone is at my door in the middle of the day. I check it out to see who it is. It's a man holding an envelope in one hand and his phone in another. He takes a picture of the number on my house, the address, attached the envelope on my door, and takes a picture of the envelope before walking away. I spent way too long thinking about who he was and why he attached something to my door. My first thought is that the HOA had an event, but then why would he take a picture? And why did he have a badge around his neck? Okay, maybe the HOA is angry about something? My thoughts were largely HOA-centered since our previous one was very passive-aggressive. The day eventually went by and I drive home. The first thing my wife says to me when I walk in is, "It's bank name," while handing me the letter. It says something along the lines of, "We've been trying to contact you regarding your loan. Please call number as soon as possible." So I call the number while logging into the bank's website. And then I check the bank account that is supposed to be paying into the loan. Sure enough, nothing has been paid to the loan in 3 months. So I pay the amount in full as well as the next month's mortgage since it was already coming due, and apologize profusely to the person on the other end of the phone number from the letter. Meanwhile, I'm trying to remember why I thought Autopay was set up if it wasn't. After the phone call, I went to set it up properly and was met with the same error that no dates were available to start the payments. The night when I fought with this website the first time, came crashing back to me at that moment. A terrible way to end a long day, but whatever. They had their money. It was over. A few days go by and I log in to set up Autopay since the payment was finally processed. I check that it says payments are set to be automatically drafted around 8 times and it occurs to me to check my credit score. My stomach sank pretty hard on this one. It has dropped 200 points from a few months back. I reached out to the bank, and was informed that since there was no error on their part, they can't remove the delinquency from my history. I don't blame them at all for any of this, I just wanted to state for the record that I did at least try talking to someone. They were a very nice and understanding person. But unfortunately couldn't help in the problem my own stupidity caused. The only silver lining in any of this is that I am not actively trying to do anything that involves needing decent credit.